So, today's the big day. The day that I've spent basically all my life. My family has spent 3 generations building up to. Clearly, this isn't exactly what I was expecting. I hoped that I would be able to get a debate in a scientific forum. That I've got a debate in a legal forum, I think, is a sign of the difficulty that we've got in getting debate, getting to this point. And it's a sign how crazy the whole situation's been, In 2009, I wrote that article, The Black Swan, and then, it'll be on one of the links underneath will be the timeline of my efforts to get an engagement on the etiology of malocclusion. Why are teeth crooked? I've been asking this question. And that's the central theme of this court case, the etiology of malocclusion, the cause of the problem. And I'm simply saying if you don't understand the cause of the problem, then you don't really understand the problem. And most of this court case is related to comments that I've made related to what I see as the pathological process. And of course, just simply not having a pathological process is, Listen, I hope it goes today because, and what I've learned about court proceedings is delays happen all the time. But once I'm sworn in, once I start to give evidence, I can't really talk about the court case. I can talk the most basic generalities of the fact that it's things recurring. And I'll take some advice because my lawyer is really, he is brilliant. There is no other way to describe this guy, But after we come out of a session and you can see he's just in the zone. He's in the zone. We go into the little room that they're letting us use downstairs and he just goes like that. And that means, please leave. Don't talk to me. I've got it in my head. I want to get it down onto paper and I don't want any disturbance. No sound, no noise, no one around me. No. So we leave him. And it's usually me, that he has a trainee, usually one of 2, Theo or Georgina, great girls. And we leave him, he goes through things and comes out. And, it's just so much in the zone. It's the only problem with that is it's quite difficult getting through to him. If you've got an idea, he's in his zone and it's quite difficult to get ideas. You have to choose your moment to get the idea into for him. And that's his only weakness is not really, he could have taken more from me from this. However, what he's done, his knowledge of orthodontics now is just phenomenal. He's got a few things wrong and, it's just absolutely insane how much he's learnt about this. And of course, for me, this is you realize this is the first time in my entire life that I've had a proper, okay, do we call this proper? I don't know if we call this proper, but okay, it's a meaningful engagement with an orthodontist. Okay, we're having to have it in this really contrived way where he was, the orthodontic expert was on the stand for 8 days. Now, Powell said that was the second longest he's ever had. Vullo said that was the second longest he had ever had. And I'm quite certain now, if the case runs on, so it looks like, so we put an application in yesterday. I don't think I can go into what's happening. I wish I could, but we put an application. No, we put it in on Sunday, I think. On Monday we Vullo discussed his application on Tuesday. Yesterday, the prosecution then to discuss. So they put this application in, then they take time to go into it in sort of, explain the application. And the prosecution barrister spoke for about, I think, maybe 2.5, maybe slightly more hours in, a monotonous monologue, in my humble opinion. And I was struggling to stay awake. I really was. I wish I'd taken some work in there to get on with something else, because this is all about my life. This is about my career. And it was hard to stay awake. But she put this in, and we've had a message that we're not due until 2:00. So at 2:00 today, they're going to, the committee, I hope by then, will have had some idea. They have a chat. They go through they look at both of these applications that have been put in. The applications, I can't remember, some 14 odd pages of application. I mean, they're just small in legal work terms, but each one comes with 300 or 400 pages of the laws, sort of the detail of the laws that they're relying on. So that if you question a segment of the law, then you can look into the long wording of the law and what it's based upon. So, I mean, we're talking, just crazy amounts of documents that this type of thing produces. And the committee will make a decision by 2:00 and then give a written report. From my experience of this, they'll it'll be a bit later than that, than 2:00. So whether or not, I'm hoping to take the stand today, but there is always that chance it'll get thrown back till tomorrow. But nothing's going to really happen till 2:00. And then they give their opinion on the application that we put in and the response that the barrister for the General Dental Council puts in. So then we have once we've got through that, and I guess that'll be a bit late, then that'll be another hour. And so whether or not I actually go today or I go tomorrow is open to question. But if I do go, it'll be 3-4 o'clock today. And of course, the link, if you want to get to watch, remember, you've got to apply. You can't just link in, and you can't record this either orally, voice or video. Unfortunately, I would love to have this all recorded, but clearly a transcript is going to be made available, and the transcript will be public. So anyone can go to that transcript and have a look. And of course, that gives me a great advantage, because by the time, so the court will finish now, so Friday's the last day, then we're not starting up again till September. And by September, we're going to really encourage them to have the transcripts. I don't think they'll be public by then. I think they become public at the very end of the trial, to be honest. But the transcripts should be available for us, so that I can actually look at the words of what both the orthodontic expert and the maxillofacial expert have said, so that then we can have a good chat about what they've said, so I can actually give a proper informed response. I'm limited by the amount of papers we've put in, and yes, I wish we'd been a bit more organised on that. But we've got those papers, and I go through those papers and I just match their comments against. I can't believe it. I seriously think, I wonder whether they read some of those papers before opening their mouths. But there we go. So that's what's happening at the moment. It just is immense. I mean, unfortunately, the pressure has spilt over to home, and home is under stress as well, which is just, of course, the hay fever. It's been a bit of a hay fever day today, so I've taken some antihistamines. I don't want to be... I hate my nose running. worse when I'm treating patients, but it's still when you're in court and you've got to look professional. Guys, I just, really thanks for your support. When I'm, between preparing some of these documents, I sometimes read down the comments underneath the videos. So I don't respond. What am I going to do? If I respond to one, shall I respond to all? I don't know. I don't want to set a precedent. So I just don't respond because you'd be there all day. And clearly I've got a bit to do. I don't read very quickly. When you learn to read, you when you're beginning, you learn each word and then you can make it flow and you read in sentences. I never got that far. Each word I have to do separately, which really slows my reading down. And I'm terrible. The words seem to jump around and, you get the wrong, the negative or double negatives. Whoa, dearie me, I have to read that twice. So, here is my life, guys. Thank you very much for following me. I'm hoping I've got an intern starting. And I'm hoping, he seems to be really good. And, we're going to hopefully get going with a bit more, because my whole problem is, I'm broke and it's just really hard doing all of this. Broke is a bit of an understatement. And if I have some help, then we'll be able to get more stuff out to you, because there is so much to do. There is a crazy amount to do, but I have to focus on this at the moment. This is a tragedy and it's an opportunity. All I want is the truth. All I really want is scientific engagement. I have to take this court case as my best opportunity for scientific engagement that I get. And I have to use this event to gain the maximum publicity to, we just know, we want the oxygen of interest fed in here. So people know, when I walk down, I'm on public transport every day, going backwards and forwards into central London. And where the court case is, it's at the General Dental Council on Wimpole Street, which is just above Oxford Street. And I take the train to Bond Street, and I then walk up to Oxford Street, to Wimpole Street. And I'm passing to the General Dental Council. And you pass through Oxford Street, which is, I believe, the busiest shopping street in Europe. And I stop there sometimes because it's so busy and you can look at faces. And I just look around and I just think, craziness. How many people just need some simple, basic information? They would just know whether, their parents could have had just basic, simple information. It needs doing. We're going to do it together as a team. I can be a figurehead, but I need people to help. This is a revolution. It's a revolution in thinking. And I think we need to usher in a revolution in healthcare. And I think that we're going to do this. We had the Arab Spring where people rose up. It wasn't actually so successful in the end, but it showed it was real good. It was a demonstration of what social media could do. I think we need to demonstrate what social media can do in healthcare. How we can turn this round to a real grassroots movement for change. I've got this old phrase that if I walked out on the street outside and I got run over by a number 10 double-decker bus, first thing I'd say, what's a number 10 bus doing around here? But no, no. First thing I'd want is I want an ambulance. I want what modern medical care has to offer. Anesthetics, antibiotics, knowledge of the bacterial theory. It is brilliant, and we shouldn't knock this. When people bemoan modern medicine, we shouldn't forget it's brilliant what some of the advances that have been made. And the pursuit of the scientific process has really helped all of this. But when it comes to chronic medicine, if I have a chronic disease like diabetes type 2, if I've got sleep apnea, if I've got, a rheumatoid arthritis, any of these sort of chronic conditions, well, an argument could be said that modern medicine can put its fingers up and say, look, has anyone else got some bright ideas? And, I'm very involved in the ancestral health movement. And the simple proposition of this movement is that many of the chronic health problems we have today are related to the mismatch or the disjunction between how we evolved to live and how we are living. And I see this argument spreading. I was in the movement back in the 2011, I think I was first gave a lecture at UCLA. And what we see is, I see this same ideology spreading out to lots of areas of, of people talking about diets and people talking about psychology. And these are, these have a very similar sort of basis of chronic medicine, because it's how we live. It's our lifestyle. And I think that we could argue that much of the issues we have with chronic health conditions relate to diet and lifestyle and even psychology. And I think these are all wrapped up together, and it was very difficult to start separating bits and pieces. And it's time that we didn't have this top-down style of medicine where I'm the professor, I know best, and I'm going to organise the healthcare system for you people who are going to be the users, and I'm the controller. I think we need to just get some more balance in the system, more general debate, more general discussion, all of the things that just isn't going on at the moment. And that's going to be realistically a grassroots revolution in healthcare. And I'm not the only one, but I'm in a really interesting specific area, because orthodontics affects so many different families, so many different people. Because usually there's nearly always one child in a family needs orthodontic care. So this seems to affect everyone. And of course, the other thing is, of course, I'm talking about faces. And an old adage of mine is the only people interested in what I'm saying are people with faces. But if you happen to have a face, this is fascinating. Right, and I'll go in. So, right, back to today. I'm heading into town, and I'll go in a little bit later. I'll just go after the morning rush so that I can get a seat on the train and then continue reading, looking at my computer and doing things. And then we get ready for 2:00. My barrister was really clear. He said, look, I'm not going to coach you through this. First of all, I'm not allowed to coach you. I'm not allowed to tell you what to say, and I never do that. You've got to be yourself. But he keeps saying, tone it down, Mike. You've got to come across as someone who's moderated, intelligent, and not some crank. So, I can't be as passionate. I've got to wind my passion in, basically, and see how it goes. See if I can do you all proud. I'll be expecting a few of you to be watching. Please don't video it. Unfortunately, I wish you could. Really wish you could. Really wish there was a video in there so this could go down in prosperity. But those are the rules, and we need to stick by them. Okay, this may be my last communication on this specific subject, but as I said, we've got an intern starting. I've got so many video ideas, I just don't have the time to put it all together. I've got this new equipment. I need someone to help me. I've so many projects I need some help on, and one of the things I'm going to get this intern to do is start. One of my principal concepts is I don't want him to do too much. I want him to find assistants, volunteers. So one of the next things we're going to be doing is asking for volunteers, people to come forward to help this revolution, help get this change, because God, we need it. We just need some common sense. The truth, the whole truth, and no dogma.